Ngannou now understands what DAZN means. Probably went for him, so I can understand that. To be a fly on the wall in there would have been interesting.
Pro boxing fans here in Riyadh with my mate Ade Oladipo. Ade, always a pleasure seeing you, mate. You've become a regular out here. I mean, you might as well just buy a place out here, mate.
Couldn't afford it. Not where I want to stay anyway. Yeah, well, look, we've been out here for a few ones. Obviously, we were out here, December for AJ Ottovolin, October for Fury and Ngannou. We're going to be out here again May 18th for Usyk Fury or Fury Usyk, whichever way is right. And then obviously June 1st. Is it June 1st or July 1st? June 1st, isn't it? June 1st for Bivol Beterbiev. So, yeah, and I'm guessing there's going to be more. Hopefully, it's a regular thing. I like coming here. I enjoy it. Obviously, remember when we first came here years ago? I think, what was my first one? AJ Ruiz, which was in Jeddah. And I was a bit like, oh, I don't know. Now, it's just normal. It's nice. The food's great. People are great. The weather's great as well, which you probably captured on your videos. So, yeah, enjoy being out here.
I do want to talk about, I know you've got sort of a lot on today, so I'm going to try to get things wrapped up as quick as possible. I want to talk about this picture that came out last night that sort of blew up the internet. Turkey Sheikh putting out a picture with Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Francis Ngannou, Cristiano Ronaldo. Wow. Talk to me about that, man. That's madness.
It was crazy because it's weird though. There's a part of me that likes it and there's also a part of me, I have to be honest, I don't like it. Like, I don't want to see Fury and Ngannou with a hand around each other cuddling and AJ's going to fight Ngannou and they're all smiling. I'm like, well, 1 second. You guys are supposed to be going to war. Like, this is it. And some people will say, you know, they're going to get in the ring and do their thing, and I get that, but I almost want it to be as it was before. Like, Fury didn't like AJ. They're not in the same room too. I kind of like that. Even the Frank Warren, Eddie Hearn stuff. Remember before I used to say, oh my God, it'd be pay-per-view to see Eddie and Frank at a press conference. Now it's just the norm. And I guess to some extent, you have to credit Turkey, but there's also a part of me that's like, I don't mind the little beef between everyone. I don't like it all, everyone kumbaya around the fire, all in harmony. I like a bit of tension. And it's almost like there's no tension anymore between the camps. I mean, we saw John Fury and AJ all like happy-go-lucky the other day. And I'm like, I thought these guys didn't like each other. But it's a powerful photo. When you look at who's in that photo, Cristiano Ronaldo, arguably the greatest footballer we've ever seen, arguably, right? Definitely the richest footballer ever. You got Anthony Joshua, two-time unified heavyweight champion. Francis Ngannou, UFC heavyweight champion. Tyson Fury, WBC. It's a powerful photo. But not for me. No, not for me.
You know what, I do think there's going to be stories come out about the meeting, because I think there has been things coming out already saying that things might have got a little bit heated between Tyson and Francis and stuff like that. So it's not as pretty as it seems. We don't know right now.
Wait, bring the mic back. That's what I want to hear. Because those two, like, I've interviewed Francis a few times and he's always said he wants Wilder and Fury. Like, he's insistent on the Fury rematch because obviously he thought he won the first one. And I'm guessing, now you said that, I'm guessing they kind of looked at each other and Francis went, I beat you. And Fury called him the Dossa word. And I didn't know if I could say that on your channel, apologies. And Ngannou now understands what DAZN means. Probably went for him, so I can understand that. To be a fly on the wall in there would have been interesting. But yeah, look, powerful photo. And again, I credit Turkey for bringing all these athletes together and all these boxers together. These events wouldn't happen without it. He's almost overpaying. So there's no return on investment here. Like this would have to sell 3 million pay-per-view buys for everyone to eat. Like, no, you know what I mean? He's overpaying. So, look, we're just lucky that these events are going on and these fighters can come together. But it is strange seeing photos of fighters that are about to go to war, smiling and hugging and everyone high-fiving. I find it quite strange.
Let's talk about the fight. And I always like to get your points of view in this week because you get to spend time with the fighters one-to-one. Talk to me about what you've seen from both fighters, Francis and Anthony Joshua.
Francis is just so supremely confident. It's bordering on arrogance. Like, he's just so confident. Like, you know what it is? I almost feel like because he is a former UFC heavyweight champion and they now have the tag of the baddest man on the planet, right? They've got it. The heavyweight champion in the UFC could beat any man up. And I think he walks around thinking, if this was a street fight, I'll kill AJ in a second. I think he walks around like that. Like, AJ's lucky this is a boxing match with rules. So he's super confident. He takes a lot of confidence from the fact that he, in his eyes, beat Tyson Fury, but also for the fact that he's now done it all. So but I think before there was a bit of, and he said this, it was almost like an unknown for him. He didn't know how he was going to react, how he was going to breathe. Was he going to be able to go 10 rounds? He didn't know anything. And he's like, now he's done it. And he thinks he's done it against the number one heavyweight. I know it's different, right? Styles make fights, but he's thinking, if I can do that on a couple of months' notice to the number one heavyweight in the world, I've got a chance against AJ. I've got a chance, a legit chance. So he's super confident. We spoke to Dewey Cooper yesterday, his trainer. And Americans are so good at speaking. So I was like, he sold me. I was like, well, 1 second, Francis is going to do this. Like, he sold the story like it's a genuine Rocky movie. So they're honestly, they're super confident. They think that AJ is still fragile. They're not sold on the Otto Volin win. They're like, okay, it's a good win, but it's Otto Volin. That's kind of what their faults are. It wasn't like AJ beat a Frank Sanchez or Usyk rematch. They don't look at it as much. So, yeah, they're super confident. Way more confident than they were going into the Fury fight. And I think it might be a bit of overconfidence and overlooking AJ, but, I mean, who knows, man? You almost feel like with Francis, there is going to be this incredible ending to his story. Like, because of his journey, again, you kind of get sold into it a bit. So you almost feel like, maybe he does do it. Like, he's got me. Like, maybe somehow he lands that punch and it is this ending to what is an incredible movie. I hope not, but you know, who knows?
With Anthony Joshua, when you look at his career, and he is probably the most, he's a fighter that gets put under the microscope the most, without a doubt, especially in the UK. But when you look at his career after the Ruiz loss, there was a lull in his sort of career, we could say. Do you feel like, though, at this point with Ben Davis and Lee Wiley and this team, that he seems a lot happier, first of all, because you've got to see him and sit down with him, and secondly, has that brought out a little bit of that spiteful AJ that we got to see in the past?
First part, yes, he's definitely happier. It almost, I think, is a throwback to a Team GB setup, which we had with Rob McCracken, which is obviously the best AJ we've seen. So he's around people that he knows and he remembers. And again, it's almost just happy faces in the camp. Lee Wood always smiles. Pat McCormack's a laugh, isn't he? Ben Davison can be funny. So I feel like he's around people that make him feel comfortable. Whereas maybe in America, he's around people that Errol Spence, Jamel Charlo, do you know what I mean? Mean muggers, you know what I mean? So maybe he's in a comfortable space. As for this, brought out a better AJ, I'm not sure. Because I wasn't super high on Otto Volin. I thought Otto Volin could cause problems, but I'm realistic to think that Otto Volin, I don't know if he's a top 15 heavyweight. I think I can name 14 heavyweights that can beat Otto Volin. I think I can name him. So I don't know. Like, could Derek James have done that to make AJ beat Otto Volin like that? Could Robert Garcia have done that? I'm not trying to say that Ben didn't have a tough task, because he certainly did, because the pressure was on AJ to get a result, but I'm not sure. I want to, as you know, I'm an AJ fanboy. I want to see that and know that AJ is absolutely back, but I don't know, man. We need to see him in against a very, very good heavyweight. Like AJ had the 2023, a bit like Joseph Parker, when he came back after loss and it was Jack Massey, then he went to fight in New Zealand, and then he had that fight against the Canadian. AJ's fought Jermaine Franklin, Helenius, and Otto Volin. 3 solid opponents, but 3 opponents that are not in the top 10. I want to see AJ in there against a top 10 guy and perform like he did against Otto Volin. Then I am definitely stamp of approval. You are back, sir. Right now, I'm like, yeah, he's there, but is he there? Is he there? We'll see.
I do want to ask you that I was watching Carl Froch's YouTube channel, which is booming at the moment, so it's obviously something that a lot of people are watching. But he's saying, listen, he's saying AJ should win this, but if he doesn't, is this game over for AJ? Do you feel like if he loses to Francis Ngannou, that where does he go from here? Or is it because of the whole Riyadh thing that maybe he has enough in him to get back to the top?
No, this will be damaging. Let's not play around here. This will be damaging because the narrative won't be he lost to what could be a very good boxer. We don't know. Like Ngannou could lose at area level, but he could beat top 10 guys. I have no idea. Where he is. Like, could Ngannou beat Johnny Fisher? I'm asking serious questions. I don't know. Could Fabio Wardy put him in his arse? I have no idea where Ngannou is. But the fact is, he's had 1 pro fight. AJ should not be losing to what is a novice boxer. Yes, he looks good and he looks the part, but the fact is he's a novice in terms of the record. It's 1 fight. AJ's got the amateur pedigree, and again, he's a former 2-time unified heavyweight champion, so the rebuild would be difficult. It wasn't okay to lose to Ruiz, but I think we can all agree Ruiz is a good boxer. It was okay to lose to Usyk because Usyk's a generational talent, so that rebuild isn't difficult. The rebuild mentally after Ngannou loss would be difficult. Bear in mind, when I spoke to AJ, he called the Fury and Ngannou fight a gimmick. Yeah. He didn't take it seriously. And when I pushed him, I was like, he said it would be a fun fight, and I said, "What? Won't it be competitive?" And I think he was very much quite dismissive of it being a competitive fight. Not that he doesn't look at Ngannou as a problem, but he's obviously dismissed him from a talent perspective. You can't lose to that guy. You can't lose to that guy. Jeez, this will be that's why pressure's on. Pressure's on AJ to get this job done. Like, if I'm AJ, I'd box a move, I'll play it safe. Almost a bit like Fury did when he got down. Fury's like, okay, oh, 1 second, what are we doing here? This guy can actually fight a bit. Play it safe. If you try and engage with this monster who's going to come in the ring 270 pounds, and he's not 270 of fat. He was on his balls. Oh, sorry, on his balls. It was on the balls of his feet, moving around at the media workout. This guy can hit a bit. He can move. He's not flat-footed. It's a bit of a problem, but AJ can't lose to him. He can't. Uni, he cannot lose to this guy.
Then how important is it that firstly AJ wins, because we're boxing people, we want to see that big fight with Tyson Fury, we want to see these big fights that happen, and obviously we've followed AJ since day dot. But how important is it that apart from beating Ngannou, he does it in a way that maybe it puts a one over Fury, maybe saying, listen, I did this job better than you in a more convincing way, I knocked him out, for example, that he just sends out a statement to Tyson, because eventually everyone's looking for that fight to happen.
Yes and no. Okay. Get the W. Sometimes you get the W and you move on. I mean, Tyson scraped the W, scraped it. He's fighting in a couple of months for the undisputed heavyweight title fight. And people have already started to forget it a little bit. You look at Oleksandr Usyk against Daniel Dubois. He came through some problems there, got the W. So sometimes get the W. Like there was times in the Joseph Parker, Deontay Wilder fight where clearly Parker's winning. I was thinking, Wilder, you just need to land something here and just get the W. Just get out of town. I want AJ to look exciting and look explosive and all that, but sometimes you got to respect what's in front of you. It's not always about entertaining the fans. Sometimes it's about just getting the job done. So I don't know. It's important to send a message out there, but when you've already been told pretty much by His Excellency that you are fighting the winner of Fury Usyk, doesn't matter, does it? You just get the W and then fight the winner of Fury Usyk, and then let's see. So I don't think it's too important.
Do you want to quickly talk about Tyson Fury? I want to ask you, that cut that he got, it seems like things are healing over well, but we know in boxing that scar tissue sometimes is weak. Do you feel like now Oleksandr Usyk looks at that, changes his game plan slightly to target that eye a little bit more, open that up, and then take advantage?
I don't think of him as a rough and ready fighter like that. I mean, look, can he land some shots on that eye? Potentially. But I feel like if he was a dirty fighter, that would, and apologies to name these type of fighters, but if he was fighting a White or Chisora who would go in with the head and target it, then maybe. But Usyk's always on the back foot anyway. Never really engages to get up close like that. If anything, Fury's the one that's going to risk it himself, because he's the one that's going to be trying to charge Usyk. I feel like Usyk's game plan is his game plan before the cut, after the cut, during the cut. It doesn't change. This guy's a master, and he's got a game plan, and they've had a game plan to fight Fury and beat Fury since they beat AJ at Tottenham. So not even AJ over here. I already thought they thought that's next, and he's been waiting, and I don't think that game plan deviates. I think Fury's game plan might a little bit, because Fury's changed up his style quite a lot over the years, from being that guy on his toes, almost like a middleweight, to a guy that's now a bit more flat-footed and kind of sits on his punches a bit more. So if anyone's going to change their game plan, it's Fury. He might be the one that's a bit like, okay, I've got a cut, I can't come in the way I normally come in. So maybe we see a Fury on his toes bouncing. But for Usyk, that game plan is the game plan that he's always had for 2 years, and it's a game plan that he's super confident will work against Fury, and I'm pretty confident it works against Fury as well.
Quickly, to want to talk about Zhang-Parker, can't sort of miss that fight out on such a big card. Did Joyce make Zhang look better than he is? That's the question I want to ask, because he seemed to be a sitting target for what people seem to see it as. Joseph Parker's a different fighter. We know he moves around quite a lot, especially under Andy Lee. Do you feel like that fight, them two fights, made Zhang better, or does Zhang deserve the praise that he's getting right now?
Deserves it. I was speaking to Zhang's trainer, Sean George, I think I was speaking to him yesterday, and I said, dude, I think I can make an argument to say Zhang's the third best heavyweight in the world. I said, I'm very much on how people were talking about Joyce before that fight. After the fight, it's easy. Oh, he's old, he's slow. Before that fight, everyone was like, Joyce could beat AJ. I remember the conversations. Joyce Wilder would be incredible. People were definitely ranking Joyce as a top 4, top 5 heavyweight, and Zhang smoked him twice. The first fight, everyone was like, I think even Sam Jones said something about Joyce's size, like he tried to lose too much weight, like he's going to bulk back up and you watch. And Zhang was like, all right, bulk up then. Destroyed him again. And I thought he beat Hrgovic over here. So he's beaten 2 solid top 10 guys back to back. He's very good. He's very good. I just wonder, maybe people look at him because he's a bit big, he's a bit slow. He's a very skilled amateur. Obviously Olympic medalist. AJ had problems with him as well in the Olympics. He's a problem. He's a southpaw. He's enormous. He's a bit slow. He's 40. He's going to be a bit slow. I mean, not many 40-year-olds are spring chickens. But he's a problem. And there's going to be a time, even though Joseph Parker is a bit more fast-footed, and obviously him and Andy Lee have been working on a lot of stuff, there's going to be a time when Joseph Parker has to sit on his punches and engage. And that there could be a disaster. Can he walk around and run around for 12 rounds and pot shot? I don't know. He's going to have to go and meet that guy in the center of the ring, and it's going to be interesting. It's a great fight. 2 guys, top 6 heavyweights going at each other. Fight of the night. Ray Vargas, Nick Bull's close second, but I think this is a fight of the night.
Final 2 for myself. I do want to talk about a heavyweight who seems to be coming back in Dillian White. There's still a few question marks on the British Boxing Board of Control stance on this. There's no sort of official report or statement come out from them, so we're still awaiting a lot. But if he does get cleared, do you feel like he can get straight back into the mix, or do you feel like he has to have a couple of fights and see where he's at this present time?
No, he's 35. He'll get straight back in. And he's missed out on jackpots. Obviously, he missed out on the AJ fight, which would have been 7 figures. And unless he got knocked out or brutally finished in that fight, he would have been on one of these cards. And he would have probably got higher 6, 7 figures again, because he's a name. He brings excitement to it. He would have sold whoever he's fighting. There's so many fights out there for him that he might just go straight back in. He hasn't fought since November 2022 against Jermaine Franklin, so it's a long time, but sometimes you just got to do it. You got to look at Wilder, went straight back in with Joseph Parker, having not fought for longer. But back to your point, there are still so many question marks. So many. I mean, like, this is a guy that obviously failed a test in the lead up to the Anthony Joshua fight. Went radio silent, I think put out a statement, but went radio silent, we didn't hear from him, so we didn't know what was going on. And then I saw a statement about the Texas Commission. And I was like, wait a minute, didn't he have a Portuguese boxing license? I'm so confused. And there needs to be more that comes out, because look, there's been so many stories with boxing and drugs in the last 12 months, and we're tired of hearing them. What we want is some sort of clarity to understand it as fight fans. Or if we don't get clarity, what we do, myself, yourself, all boxing fans, we try and fill in the gaps ourselves. And we make mistakes, and then we get letters or phone calls, how dare you? I'm like, well, we're trying to fill in the gaps because you're not helping us. So we need to understand. I really don't understand a Texas. I'm baffled by it all. You know, I guess boxing's laughable sometimes. I don't know, honestly. Someone needs to explain to me where a Texas commission has anything to do with this. I don't get it. And then we need to understand it. I think, what did he say? I think, it was spiked or something? Like contaminated supplement? Look, that could be true. I'm laughing, but it could be. But we're tired. We're tired of hearing this stuff. What I said, and obviously I'm wrong, I thought the fight with AJ was August. He's coming back now. That's exactly 6 months. So I thought, maybe he's got a 6-month ban. And I was like, okay, that's fine. It's fine. He accepted it. Hands up. I effed up somewhere. I thought that was it. But obviously, I'm completely wrong. But yeah, it needs to be cleared up, because Dillian White's exciting. We miss him. But at the same time, we've had so many situations recently. Gerard Miller, Conor Benn, high profile. And we can't keep having these. Look at Paul Pogba. 4-year ban, dude. That's football, where you are running in straight lines and you pass a ball. This is fighting. It's the most dangerous sport in the world. we can't keep having this where fighters get banned, go radio silent, we don't hear from them, and then they're back and it's a Texas commission. No, we need a bit more. We need a bit more. And this is not a direct dig at Dillian White. I like Dillian White. When I see him at events, I speak to him, I like him. I like his whole team, but we need clarity because we get asked questions like you're asking me, and I don't want to shy away from them, but I have no answers because they're not telling us anything. It's a problem.
Final one, Ryan Garcia. I do want to talk about him. I don't want to go into things that have been said online. I think if people want to look at it, they can search online on Twitter, and there's a lot going on right now. But my question is, does that fight just need to be pulled? Does he need to get away from boxing and just maybe just go through maybe some sort of rehab if he's going through struggles like this, just to get back to the old, normal Ryan Garcia that we've seen in the past?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a big fight for DAZN. Obviously, it's a pay-per-view fight. It would have sold out the Barclays Centre. It would have done good numbers. I know Chris Mannix did the face-off, which I heard was interesting. So they've got everything to sell it. Two young kids, part of that growth of Gervonta Shakur. You know, they've been kind of grouped with each other for a long time. But health is more important than anything. I mean, Ryan Garcia is so young. Get your health sorted and then come back. It's fine. Boxers go through it. We've had so many boxers that have gone through some sort of... Problem is, his is happening in the public eye. We're seeing the breakdown happen right in front of us. And DAZN and DAZN people can't ignore that. And I guess it's not even a DAZN thing. Golden Boy first. Family. In fact, let's start from family. Your dad pulls you. His dad's part of his management team. You pull him. If you don't pull him, Oscar, Bernard, you pull him. If that don't happen, DAZN, you exit. Yes, you might lose a lot of money in this one, but get a replacement. Devon can still fight, maybe not a pay-per-view event. You know how many fighters are out there for Devon? Call up Teofimo Lopez right now. Call up Teofimo Lopez. Call up Shakur Stevenson. Make a co-promotion with Bob Arum. ESPN and DAZN can work with each other. Co-promotion. Do it. Let's do it. There's too many 140 guys out there. You know, they just signed Matthias. Get him in the ring. Let's see how bad Devon is. In fact, Devon thinks he's the best out. Get Crawford. Go up to... Devon weighed 160 on Fight Night, right? For his fight against Regis Prograis. Why don't you go up another weight at 147 and call out Terence Crawford, who doesn't have a fight? Why don't we see a super fight between Devon Haney and Terence Crawford at 147? There's so many fights. We don't have to force Ryan in our faces when the kid's clearly going through a lot. You know, it's not like Ryan's 35 and this is the last time he can fight. Ryan's a young kid who's able to fight in a year's time once he gets his health right. His health is clearly not right.
Bill Haney was on an Instagram Live with Adrien Broner, and he said, listen, Adrien Broner's thrown his hat into the ring for that fight. Do you think it's done for Adrien Broner? That's it. We've seen the best of Adrien, and maybe we don't get to see it anymore.
Yeah. The Adrian's interesting because I was going to just be disrespectful as you said that, but then you've got to respect that Adrien Broner is a multi-weight world champion. I think the problem with Adrien Broner is that there was a time when we all thought we are seeing a Floyd Mayweather. We thought he was going to be pound for pounder, maybe go all the way up. I think it was the Paulie Malignaggi fight where I was like, ooh, he won it. But I remember thinking, are you maybe not as good as I thought you were? But then he just clearly didn't live the life. He thought he could get away with doing what he was doing and still be great. And once you get to that top tier of boxing, where everyone's good, you've got to get rid of all the nonsense. Adrien Broner's time has just come and gone. It's a shame. I don't know what he is now, 33, 34. It's come and gone. He's not going to be that guy anymore. I actually thought Adrien Broner-Conor Benn fight would have been fun because of the trash talk, but he's just not that guy. He's missed the opportunity. He would have been a multi-millionaire. He would have been so many pay-per-view events, but unfortunately the street life got to him. It gets a lot of people. And it got to him, and now he's trying to somehow come. Every time I see a photo of Adrien Broner, he looks fat. Every time. And I've always said, skills pay the bills, but the one thing you have to do, surely, is just be in shape. That's easy. That's free. Be in shape. Every time I see him, there's a bit of belly. And I'm like, nah, not for me. So nah, Broner's time's gone, which is a shame, but he had a good run. It was a decent run for 3 or 4 years, but it could have been 10 or 15 years. If he would. Imagine a dedicated Adrien Broner. Imagine a Bernal Hopkins mindset in the brain of a Broner. Could have been special.
I think the mindset is the hardest thing, though. You look at Ronaldo, for example, someone who's going to play on to another couple of years. His mindset's different to a lot of other footballers. So when you're an elite, that's what you are. But talking about someone who's in shape, Ade Oladipo, all is in shape. I've seen it. I've seen you just come from the gym, mate.
I mean, the pump is still there. This isn't real. And this is 100% Nigerian beef. This is no extras. This is not even protein shakes. This is it, right? This is 42 years old.
Don't mind, listen, Ade, it's a pleasure speaking to you. I know you're going to be busy at the press conference, so I thought we'd get this out of the way and appreciate your time as always. Thank you very much for talking to pro boxing fans.